Today's episode of Inside Gaming Daily is brought to you by Vizio. Check out the link in the description for their new home theater sound system.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside Gaming Thursday.
That's right, it's Thursday, and it's no secret that EA has been on the defensive for a while now when it comes to loot boxes.
Some countries have even banned them, and others are looking into their legality, which could potentially threaten EA's entire business model.
Oh, so they're probably a little nervous these days, which is probably why they're completely misrepresenting them to governments.
Yay! Tell us more about it, Lawrence.
Yeah, recently EA was called before the UK Parliament and they offered some hilarious justifications for loot boxes, aka pay-to-win mechanics, aka the thing that people despise most about modern gaming. But here's the fun part, EA doesn't call them loot boxes.
Oh,
Really?
They have a fun, heartwarming, family-friendly term for it that just makes them so fuzzy and
I
lovely.
can't wait to find out what that
What is
is.
it,
Oh,
gambling
boy.
crates? What do we call it?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
No. So Kerry Hopkins, EA's VP of Legal and Government Affairs, told Parliament's Digital, Culture, Media, and Sport Committee the randomized purchases aren't loot boxes. No, perish that thought.
Oh, what are they called then?
Oh man, so instead, she called it, wait for it, surprise mechanics!
What the hell does that mean?
I suddenly feel better about having an addiction. Orwell just shook in his grave.
You just wasted thousands of bucks on bad soccer players. Surprise!
The company's complicit in encouraging children to gamble.
Surprise! EA might lose a substantial chunk of their entire company's revenue. Surprise!
Here comes the clown! Hopkins wouldn't agree with that. No! She compared loot boxes to going to a toy store and grabbing something off the shelf.
What? But when you grab something off the shelf, you see what it. Whatever.
Yeah,
Anyways,
you know what it costs and you know what you're getting. Whatever.
She told Parliament, quote, if you go to a store that sells lots of toys and you do a search for surprise toys, what you'll find is that this is something people enjoy. They enjoy surprises.
I mean, that's true.
Yes, people enjoy surprises. Yes.
Hopkins said that loot boxes are just like toys that have been around for years, whether it's Kinder Eggs or Hatchimals or Lol Surprise.
I don't know that last
She's
one.
comparing gambling loot boxes to little German chocolate.
Yeah, to getting like
Okay.
a 2 cents of plastic inside of a chocolate egg.
Are those competitive games that you like pay to win?
So yeah, there's a ton of ways to poke holes in this comparison. Most notably, a lot of people don't spend thousands of dollars on Hatchimals like
Someone
people do.
might.
Someone might have, but
Yeah, but they're weird, and we all laugh at them for that. So anyway, some sites estimated that it would cost the equivalent of more than $6,300
All right.
to assemble the best squad in FIFA 2019's Ultimate Team.
holy sh!
Okay.
How much does it cost to assemble the Ultimate Hatchimal squad? And that's kind of where the comparison breaks down, because yeah, with Kinder Eggs and Hatchimals, toys aren't designed to be competitive.
Yeah.
Nobody's battling Hatchimals with their friends, but
They should be.
yeah, actually,
I think we got a new scheme. I mean, business model.
people knocking back Mad Dog 2020, throwing down singles in a rain-slick alleyway over illegal Hatchimals fights.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it does. I want to end that.
FIFA, on the other hand, absolutely is designed as a competitive sport.
Soccer.
So if you spend more money, you have a better chance of getting better players and therefore beating your friends.
So there's a built-in encouragement to spend a lot of money, even if it's just for bragging rights over your buddy. That's it.
And on top of that, Hatchimals have no explicit value. Sure, some might be more rare than others, but the value there is entirely impressed by the consumer.
That makes a lot of sense. FIFA assigns literal value to Ultimate Team players. Some just plain have better stats, meaning there's a functional value to them beyond their rarity.
I've been out of the Hatchimal game for a while. I'm more of a Kinder man, but like, have they? Maybe there are stats now in Hatchimals.
guess, yeah, sure.
Hopkins might be onto something.
She's on to something.
Lawrence, Lawrence, is this analogy bullshit or what?
Yes, of course. Of course it is. I mean, you're just spinning a yarn to people who don't understand the actual mechanics of what's going on and being diplomatically quiet about all the implications.
Sure,
So
yeah.
yeah, Hopkins wasn't finished with her crazy rationalizations though. After further questioning from Parliament, she said, quote, we do think that the way we've implemented these kinds of mechanics, and FIFA of course is our big one, our FIFA Ultimate Team and our packs, is actually quite ethical and quite fun.
Cool.
Quite enjoyable to people.
Just shut the up.
Yeah.
Like, what? Stop talking.
Quite ethical, quite fun. Quite.
The thing you're saying is wrong.
Yeah.
Please don't talk to the Congress or us this way or anybody this way. That's not the right way to do it.
Yeah, this is getting into full-on lobbyist territory. Misrepresenting or being very diplomatically misdirecting about how these actually work and what their actual implementation is. So that a bunch of old people in Congress who have no idea what the hell's going on don't freak out and pass a bunch of
They're
laws.
gonna be like, that nice person said it was ethical, and I believe them.
Hey, take it from your friend, Bruce, your old EA shareholder. Stop talking. Don't talk about that stuff anymore. Be honest at least. Jeez. So it's pretty clear what EA's strategy is here. Compare loot boxes to harmless toys and try to play dumb when confronted with the darker side of loot boxes.
Which absolutely makes sense when you're basically offering slot machines to children. Probably not the best idea to highlight that part.
It's not usually. Please stop talking. Hopkins was also asked about people who sell in-game items for real money via third-party sites. She called that the work of the bad guys, who are the real problem, not those loot boxes. Those loot boxes are quite ethical, quite fun.
And quite fun.
They're really. I love them. I love them.
Yeah, good. A theoretic, faceless bad guy. I love this. We don't know what they look like. We don't know where they are, but they're out there. They're scared.
And they're
yes.
bad.
Lawrence, what was she trying to do here?
I mean, they're trying to distance themselves as far away from possible as real money transactions because that's the smoking gun. That's the one step that makes this gambling. Digital goods have no monetary value, and that's the one teensy little separating factor that makes loot boxes not gambling. But they do through third-party websites. So when you're exchanging money for the chance to win more money, guess what? That's gambling. But exchanging money for the chance to win a good of some sort in a random draw, not gambling yet. Being complicit in a system in which you can exchange goods for real money value. That's really similar to how Japan circumvents gambling laws by rewarding you with a trinket that has no explicit value.
Sure.
We gave you a red chopstick. That's just yours. And if you love red chopsticks, you're in luck. But it also turns out that there's a shop around the corner that will buy a red chopstick for 50,000 yen.
Oh.
Yeah, so
What a lucky system they have.
yeah, it's weird. It's just a weird coincidence that that shop just happens to really love differently colored chopsticks and has a different value for all of them, and you just happen to win this one. Also, those arrangements are typically tied to the Yakuza, so...
Whoa, wait a minute, the mob?
Yes. So yeah, EA pulled a whoopsie and accidentally reinvented a gambling workaround implemented by organized crime in other countries where gambling's illegal. That's a whoopsie, you know, that happens, but you know, those are the bad guys.
Yeah. Don't
It's
blame
not
them.
my fault that I'm giving out chopsticks. I have nothing to do with that.
Don't you dare compare us to the Japanese.
The Yakuza? We don't even know what that is.
Oh yeah, so clearly EA has nothing to do with that. No, players are in it for the surprise factor. Hopkins said they like earning the packs, opening the packs, building the teams, and trading the teams.
They also like beating their friends.
Yeah, they're like losing to
Yeah.
somebody that paid $6,000?
Yeah.
Because that's not fun.
Well, that's just this year.
Surprise!
Obviously, loot boxes are a hotly debated topic these days. Some countries have banned them, and others are looking at that possibility.
Right here in the good old US of A senator from Montana recently said he would introduce legislation that would prohibit games geared towards children from having loot boxes in them.
I think that sounds
That's
pretty
fine.
good
Hey,
to me.
save the children.
Yeah, Republican Senator Josh Hawley says he wants to prevent games from implementing features that entice people to pay real money to make progress, aka the dreaded pay-to-win mechanic.
Hawley said last month that, quote, social media and video games prey on user addiction, siphoning our kids' attention from the real world and extracting profits from fostering compulsive habits.
Of course, the gaming industry has defended its right to let children gamble, right, Lawrence?
How about that?
Why not?
Let
the
children
children gamble! Let the children gamble!
Give me money! Use your parents' credit card!
I would say we're being too harsh, but we're not.
No.
Like, this is kind of exactly the situation. So yeah, Entertainment Software Association President and CEO Stanley Pierre Lewis has said that, quote, numerous countries, including Ireland, Germany, Sweden, Denmark, Australia, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom determined that loot boxes do not constitute gambling.
Okay.
My friends did it, so I'm gonna do it
They
too.
said it's fine.
Yeah.
This is just the ESA kind of being in the pocket of big companies, which sucks. Hopkins also seized on that point, because of course she did, telling Parliament, quote, we do agree with the UK Gambling Commission, the Australian Gambling Commission, and many other gambling commissions that they aren't gambling. Instead, we think it's like many other products that people enjoy in a healthy way, and like the element of surprise.
Surprise! Your college money's gone.
Can't pay with a car!
It's so cowardly to lean back on those definitions by dated outfits that say gambling is defined in this way.
Sure.
People's value change now. People value FIFA Ultimate Team cards more than money.
Sure.
So to define gambling like that is so 1970, and that's the age of the people that are running these commissions. So
Yeah.
to lean back on that is just bullshit.
Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think we need a babysitter, but what I don't like is when people look at something clearly and go, no, it's good for you. It can be healthy. Like,
Especially when they're the ones profiting from it.
yeah, just call a spade a spade. It's
Right.
it's getting you large hits of dopamine because you're getting surprise and delights, basically, because you might lose everything you f***ing have.
Yeah, that's because you may have spent $5,000 on FIFA cards.
Yes, that's the. But what he and Pierre Lewis didn't mention is that other countries like Belgium and the Netherlands have banned loot boxes on the grounds that they are too similar to gambling.
Yeah, and we've seen publishers remove loot boxes in those countries as a response.
And China has forced games like Dota and League of Legends and others to reveal the probabilities behind those loot boxes.
Which I think is probably the best solution.
That's fine.
In my
Hey.
opinion. And in the UK, while it's true that the UK Gambling Commission said loot boxes don't meet the legal conditions for gambling regulation, its government is conducting a broad investigation on gaming and its possible detrimental effects.
We're in it, man.
Say that it's gambling,
It's a
show the
bummer.
probabilities, and be
Yeah.
like, you're 18, you accept it,
Yeah.
do the thing. You know, like,
Except that
Yeah.
that has consequences.
Oh,
so
totally.
Right.
yeah, if you acknowledge that it's gambling, then all of a sudden the SRB has to get involved now, and then every
Yep.
game with loot boxes becomes rated M, and then suddenly
Adult
you
only?
Adult only, yeah.
or adult only, yeah. And then
Yeah.
that chops down on the marketability and the sales potential of those games massively.
I mean, at this point, we really shouldn't be surprised that EA is fighting tooth and nail to defend loot boxes,
no,
right?
of course, yeah.
The publisher relies on loot box mechanics like FIFA Ultimate Team for a major part of its revenue.
Yeah, in fact, FIFA Ultimate Team alone makes up about half of EA's live service revenues.
Oh, tell us more about that, Lawrence.
I'd love to. So yeah, one analyst has estimated that a third of all EA's annual sales come from loot box related mechanisms versus 18% for Activision Blizzard and about 11% for Take-Two Interactive Software.
Wow.
God.
Yeah, well, we did a little digging here, and according to EA, its net revenue for the last fiscal year was about $5.6 billion.
That's total revenue.
And back in 2017, so this is 2 years ago, FIFA Ultimate Team was bringing in $800 million annually to EA.
Oh.
So obviously those figures aren't from the same year, but $800 million would be close to $15 15% of EA's total net revenue.
Oh,
That's a lot. So loot boxes aren't fun toys. They're a significant, major part of EA's business and the revenue stream.
Toys can be business. Look at the dildo industry. And even though EA compared loot boxes to toys like Hatchimals, the fact is that some people end up spending a lot of money on loot boxes.
Yeah, last year a FIFA player used a newly passed European privacy law to discover all the info that EA had collected on him.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, it turned out that he had spent $10,000 on the game in just 2 years.
$10,000?
Once again, he's a whale, he has a gambling addiction, but the company
Well-
is still exploiting that, and they're happy to.
Let's say, just for argument's sake, that this is a rational adult who makes plenty of money and wants to spend it on
Sure.
FIFA. Just fine.
Why not?
Do whatever you want to do with your money. But it's pretty wild that somebody can spend 10 grand and not know it.
Oh, that's true.
That's-
He didn't know. He had to go look it up.
That sounds like Vegas,
Yeah.
where they get
Yeah.
you in a system. Everything is designed around erasing your sense of time or your sense of spending and just get you to go and go and go. God, it's hard to fight those comparisons when things like this happen.
Well, especially when they're accessible to children, to people that are under 18, that are, don't know the risks of gambling.
Stick to
Yeah.
the Kinder Eggs. It's so much simpler. That little kid on the box, he's so happy. Look at him.
Surprise! The good news here is that we can expect even more hilarious justifications like this in the future.
Yeah, with the anti-loot box bill filed in the US, it's pretty likely that EA will be dragged before even more governmental bodies and asked to defend their practices.
Don't let Carrie, whatever her name is, come out and talk about it.
I don't think she will be there.
Please,
but-
please don't do it. They're going to try and explain this as innocently as possible to a bunch of old lawmakers who historically do not know much about video games.
Right, and as the process goes further and further, we can expect EA to make increasingly desperate pleas that their practice of siphoning money out of kids and adults through gambling adjacent strategies is 100% legit.
And Lawrence, this is good news for us, right?
Oh yeah, it's great YouTubing. I can't wait.
Yeah.
We got a few months ahead of us of some hard-hitting headlines.
Oh man, we going to Washington? We're gonna do some live
Yeah.
court debate?
Inside gaming on the floor of Congress.
We're asleep in the podium. There are some drawbacks here, right, Lawrence?
Yeah, if they continue to make asinine statements like this, it could spark a backlash among gamers to actually get involved in politics.
Yeah.
So if we see enough of this, if we see enough of EA just kind of outright lying to world bodies and governments, people might get pissed enough to actually call their congressman and say, don't listen to them.
Yes.
This is the actual truth. Please read these articles. Please get informed. Because God knows Congress people don't really know much about anything.
No, they don't. They don't, and because they have to know a lot about a lot of things.
Exactly,
I'm not
so-
trying to, give them the benefit of the
But
doubt.
no, this is how the system works. Your constituents are supposed to call you and let you know how they feel about issues and stuff like that. So yes, if you feel strongly about this, contact your congressman or woman and let them know how you feel about loot boxes and things like that. Respectfully, let's tone down on the internet speak if you're talking to an elected official there.
No soundboards. Plus, lawmakers also have a history of hating video games and blaming them for all the troubles in the world, whether it's encouraging school shootings or just rotting the kids' old brains.
Yeah, so they might not be inclined to just take EA's word for it when it comes to loot boxes.
Still, we're on the precipice of a huge shakeup when it comes to how game companies earn their revenue.
Yeah, if legislation stands to disrupt EA's bottom line, they're going to scramble to find a different way to make up that revenue, right, Lawrence?
Yeah, I mean, you can bet your ass they're not just gonna take this loss on the chin.
No.
They're like, well, I guess that's no more catered lunches on Monday for us,
Yeah.
and then just continue as normal. No. Loot boxes are such a huge part of almost every game company now that it will have an incredible effect on the pricing models for games. Maybe we'll see a transition to subscription models. That seems to be the huge thing now. A lot of mobile games already do this. So something in FIFA like, oh, become a FIFA VIP for $10 a month. It gives you 5 guaranteed gold packs at the start of every month and a weird little border around your player profile. And maybe your guy has sparkly shoes or something like that. They'll figure out a way to make that money back, and it may not be better than loot boxes.
Well, retail prices may just go up.
Could be that too.
I mean, you've
Yeah.
been saying for years that $60 price point seems pretty low now for what we're getting out of
Absolutely.
video games.
The $60 price point is subsidized by things like this. And if that subsidy goes away, money's got to come from somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't expect video games to suddenly roll back to the good old days just because legislation says it should.
But Cyberpunk.
Yeah, well, they have a whole digital store bankrolling their game development, so suits are gonna get their money. That's how it always works.
Always
and
happens.
yeah, it's possible that loot boxes that we have now is actually preferable to whatever comes next. It's
Oh, God.
not gonna be in your favor. I promise you.
Surprise!
Surprise! Yeah.
Speaking of, just to end on a lighter note, why don't we list some actual surprise video game mechanics that don't try to shake kids down for money?
Yeah, I would say a stripper and a birthday cake.
Oh, okay, that's not a video game, but it could be in a video game.
Thought it was a
I've
cake.
kind of
Got a
been here.
stripper. Yay! Your ex is pregnant. Hey!
That's like a bad surprise.
Yay!
Samus is a woman.
That was a good surprise.
Lightning striking you in Zelda?
Yeah.
That was
It's like, why am
cool.
I sparking? Bang! Ah!
I'm just glad a pop-up didn't come up and say, hey, I hope you enjoyed that. That's gonna be $5.
Do you want to buy the lightning proof armor? Oh, no, wait. It's an actual video game, so you can find it.
Thanks, Nintendo.
Thanks, Nintendo.
F***ing EA, shut up!
Today's episode of Inside Gaming Daily is brought to you by Vizio's new 5.1.4 home theater sound system powered by Dolby Atmos. We here at Inside Gaming are all about gaming the gaming way. And that's about getting whatever tech you need to give you the edge in online combat. And that's what a surround system can do. If you're into those online FPS games, that's what we call them here, online FPS games. As someone's coming up behind you, you're gonna hear those footsteps and you'll know exactly where to twirl around. Get you that kill, the Inside Gaming way, with Vizio's 5.1.4 sound system. It doesn't just enhance your gaming though, it's a 10-channel home theater experience. So whether you're watching movies, TV shows, what have you, this will give you the audio experience you deserve. It's also got a wireless subwoofer with a 10-inch driver to really give you that thump, because that's what you need. Gamers like that thump, whether they're gaming or just watching TV. So make sure to check out the link in the description below, especially if you play on Xbox One, because they have Dolby Atmos support for games like The Division 2 and Assassin's Creed Origins. So thank you Vizio for the sponsorship. Once more, check out the link in the description for their new 5.1.4 home theater sound system powered by Dolby Atmos.
Let's go to that counter.
Wait, which counter?
If the real world's still a thing, I don't know.
Making money and getting people addicted to your product. Isn't that every industry ever? Isn't that what every industry's trying to do?
Of course, Bruce, yes, but we're talking about the kids!
Yes, okay, got it.
Yes, adults like us have no excuse for wasting our money, but the children